How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Daily Endeavours for Sunday the 7th of September. As always, timecodes in the description if you just want to skip stuff. 15 seals for this set. The only one I wouldn't really bother with is Battlegrounds with a Guildmate, because it's just going to take so much longer than any of these other options here. Way longer. Also, the requiring another player who's in a guild. Like, these ones here you can do on your own. I don't suggest bothering with this one just because of how much extra shit is just slapped on top of this for the same amount of seals as these ones here. So I would go Kill Giants, Blacksmithing, and Guild Traders. Giants, I would go Ogres, not Giants themselves, because there's way more Ogres all over the map than there are Giants. Way more. 2 stages in the Infinite Archive. This is probably like a minute or two longer, but the difference between this and this one here is there's not a lot of instance Giants, whereas there's Infinite Archive is completely instance. Nobody else can impact how quickly you can do this one. Whereas this one here, if players go and kill all the Giants or Ogres that you're running to, it can take forever. Well, not forever, but it can take longer. So, yeah, those are the ones I suggest. So I'll start with Blacksmithing and Guild Traders, because both of these can be just done in the comfort of a town. Alright, starting off with crafting with Blacksmithing. The absolute minimum that you need in order to get this one done just by crafting a bunch of basic items is for 4 iron daggers, you need 8 iron ingots and 4 star materials. So firstly, getting access to some star materials. Blacksmiths, you'll usually find these people around crafting stations. You open the store with them and they sell you star materials, each one for each of the races. So in this case, I'm a Khajiit, I can use the Moonstone here. They cost 15 gold no matter which one, and you can buy as many as you want. I only really suggest doing this with the star materials because for some reason in Guild Traders, people sell these for more than you would for buying them here. That being said, if you manage to find some star materials that you can use in a guild store, I suppose you have to do that today anyway, so you can do that if you want. But if you just want to get some bone for this very quickly, like for example on a wood elf, you can just do it here. It's because sometimes trying to find a specific resource like star material that you can use can be a pain in the ass. So the iron ingots can be found in materials, blacksmithing of guild stores, and you go material here. So yeah, some iron ingot for 6 gold a piece, that's great. You need slightly more than 5 though, sadly. But yeah, buying a full stack could be a good idea, because anytime the blacksmithing crafting endeavors come up, you can now do this very easily from this point on. But yeah, if you're looking to get the Guild Traders one done very quick and for very cheap, it might not be the best option. The only other thing to talk about with crafting with blacksmithing is writs. So there is a equipment crafting writ board in every like main city in a zone. Initially you need to get the certification and learn how to do them, but if you're able to do writs, it can be really beneficial for you, because writs give you not only some gold, a tiny bit of XP. It counts as completing quests for those endeavors, so it can be good in the long run whenever those endeavors come up. You get surveys, which are great. You get gold materials, which are also great. There's a lot of goodies that you can get from blacksmithing writs that can really help you out. And you need to do 2 writs to get this done, but what you can do, because it's 3 items that you need to craft for a blacksmithing writ, but what you could do instead is just do your writ and also just craft 1 iron dagger, and that way you're doing a middle ground, which is beneficial still. But yeah, any more than that I think is just complicating matters too much. So yeah, either do 2 writs, 1 writ and an iron dagger, or just craft 4 iron daggers. That's all I really suggest there. Alright, as far as guild traders go, if you're just looking to do this as cheaply as possible, go to all items, search, go to the total here, click on this so that the arrow is pointing up. This will show you the absolute cheapest item that you can buy on guild traders. So just buy that item, and that way you've spent a very tiny amount of gold on getting these. And if you're wondering, yes, we literally had the same endeavor yesterday. Deja vu. So just like with writ boards, every major city has a bunch of guild traders. For example, Eastmarch, you got the 5 here. Some of the best, I think, to get access to very easily, because these ones here you don't need any way shrines, like you don't need to run around getting way shrines because they're already unlocked. So Vocal Guard, you've got 1 guild trader just south here. In Stonefalls, you've also got one just northeast of the way shrine that you start with. And Daggerfall is the best because you have 5 here. So you've actually got all these ones here, just southwest of the Wayshrine here. Vivek City as well. You start with this Wayshrine, so it's quick to get to. And Vivek City has 6. Other things, Western Skyrim, Solitude, you've got 6 as well. So yeah, it just depends on DLC there. But you've also got, if you can get access to Cragdawn, there's 6 there. And then there's 7 there. And yeah, like things like Deshaan are great because they have like 8 or 7. Yeah, 7. So yeah, all that stuff. Every city has a ton, and they all have a lot of them have like really cheap things that you can buy. Yeah. Okay. Next up, we got giants. So this here is a giant. So these giants are found in Lower Yorgrim, this area here, just east of Eastmarch, Windhelm. Sorry. Getting to Windhelm, if you haven't been before, there is a house called Grimhearth's Woe. You can use home tours to get here if you don't have the Wayshrine yet. So go down here to G, look for Grimhearth's Woe. Just travel to any of these houses here, go out the front door, and you'll rock up in Eastmarch, right outside where the giants are. I don't suggest this option though myself, because ogres are a better option, which still count for the giants endeavor, and there are much more, or there's many more ogres around certain locations that you can use. So let me go through those now. So my suggestion for doing ogres is the delve in Greenshade called Carrickdeena. This can be found at the very southern end of the map. The quickest way to get here, if you don't have any wayshrines here, because yeah, you have to usually go the boatswain over here. There is a house called Boulder Tree Refuge. Again, use home tours. This thing is your best friend. Browse homes, go to B, Boulder Tree Refuge, and from here, travel a little bit east and a little bit south, and yeah, you'll have this wayshrine over here, and you can get it from there. There is a guild trader here too, so if you want to do that at the same time, you can do both of these at once. Your next location for ogres is Shinji Scarp in the sort of northeastern area of Stormhaven. So this area here has ogres. So firstly, you need to get to Windkeep Wayshrine if you haven't got that already. With home tours again, use Gardener House. So yeah, just go home tours, browse homes, and go to G. Down here, this one. So from the Wayshrine, it's got a little bit. You can either go through this section or down here. This is usually the way I go over here. Just be careful of the ogres here are throwing rocks into this area here. You might get knocked off your mount, but it's not a huge issue if you get knocked off. So there's ogres here, and you can find quite a lot of ogres through this section. So yeah, you can see someone else killing one over there. I find there's more people doing this one than there are Carrickdeena in Greenshade, so that's why I prefer that one. But this is another option if you want it to. It's pretty quick to get to. Last area I suggest looking at is Bone Snap Ruins. This can be found in Stormhaven as well. This is the public dungeon of the zone. So it is here, in the sort of central western area. The Bone Snap Ruins, the quickest way here, if you haven't been before, you could just use either, there's Hammerdeath Bungalow, which can be found here as a house. So you can either just go this way to the Wayshrine and this way. Like either way works there. You can find Hammerdeath Bungalow in home tours as well, so that one will be there. Or you can just enter the zone any way you can, and that will immediately unlock this Wayshrine here. You can travel there and just travel over, go through the area with the Daedra in Nightmare Crag, and then just pass through to Bone Snap Ruins here, and then travel to the public dungeon that way. Alright. Last option, stages in the Infinite Archive. These are very quick, it'll take you a few minutes to get this done. And Infinite Archive is base game, available immediately as soon as you create a character. It's just, if you can do a normal dungeon on a character, you can do this. It's not as easy as Overland, but it's still pretty damn easy. So getting here for the first time, you need to go to the full-blown map here, the Orbis, and then go to Apocrypha, and it'll be found here, and you can travel to it via Wayshrine whenever you're ready. Even though it is in Apocrypha, you don't need this zone, the DLC, or you don't need the zone unlocked. It'll be available to you as soon as you create a character. Alright, so to start off Infinite Archive, you head through the archival wings here. So just open this up. Grab the quest if you want. If you want to progress more Infinite Archive than what is required for these 2 stages, but you won't complete the quest just by doing this, so it's not necessary. Okay, so when you start Infinite Archive, it'll just be a random assortment of enemies from all sorts of places. You'll get Daedra, you'll get beasts, you'll get I don't think you can get any. Oh, you can actually get things that count as giants, but you'll only get 1 or 2. Because there's minotaurs that spawn here, but that's about it. Yeah, the enemies do different stuff. Some of them can do some annoying attacks. Like the ghosts, for example, they move around all the bloody time. And in the 3rd wave, there will almost always be one of these tougher enemies. So, yeah. Usually I like to focus the little enemies first, and the big enemies will usually die with them after a little while. But it depends. Some of the bigger enemies I like to focus, like the Iron Atronachs and the Crow Wraiths, for example. Yeah, you might get a Minotaur as that with one of like the big enemy pools. But yeah, you won't get 5, so you'll probably still have to kill some Ogres after. Right, so what I got there was a verse. So every time you complete a stage, you get a verse. And in this case, I got a really powerful offensive buff. So these are basically just powerful things that last a single round. So this next one should be easier. My advice is whenever you get these, try and use one of the offensive ones, because usually in the early stages it'll be easy to survive. I'm using a Dragon Knight. I struggle to survive on these things usually, but like most cases you're not going to struggle that much. And getting offensive versus just like everything dies fast, so it's easier to survive anyway, right? So in this case, Fire Orb is great. Oh, what do you know? Some of my brothers. Let's fight. Yeah, there's Fire Orb, so I'll go over here. Yeah, it does a lot of damage. So if you can lick them up, it's great. Goes down. More of my brothers. Alright, Runecaster. If an enemy has any name related to like lightning or like storms, Conduit especially is like one of the big ones, kill them first because they're the ones who cast the fucking negates, the really annoying negates. Sanguinate's great. So that stage is done, but I'm just going to quickly show you how to leave here if you don't know, because it might not be immediately familiar once you do it. So firstly, enter the portal to the next stage. You'll see a boss, but you don't have to fight them unless you want to. The index here, before you start any of the fights in the stages or the bosses, activating this takes you back to the start, to the foyer, and then you turn around. The portal back from where you came from will be right here. So that's how you get back to the mainland from inside Infinite Archive. Alright, that's everything for today's set. So if you have any questions, just give me a holler as always. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. I'll see you next time, and take care.